Within the context of the Second Chance Education and Vocational Learning Program, 100 birth certificates have been established and distributed to internally displaced women and girls between 15 and 25 years old based in Yaoundé.
Like the word says, it's giving a second chance to either refugees, internally displaced persons, and people of a host community. This initiative is an international initiative, and Cameroon is one of the beneficiaries in Africa, the only country for that matter in Africa who benefit from this Second Chance Education Initiative. And the idea is because we realize with the coming of conflicts in our regions, be it in the extreme north, in the east region, and in the northwest and the southwest today, we realize that there's a lot of internally displaced persons. We have refugees, and these people most of the time are pushed to move out of the regions. And when that is done, most of the time, they don't carry along their legal identity or documents, or at times their houses are being burned, and they find themselves being stateless in the regions where they are. So the initiative of giving a birth certificate or allocating birth certificate to different IDPs or refugees, it was to be able to permit them to be able to thrive in the community.
It was during the advocacy workshop that took place on Friday, 30th September 2022 at the Yaoundé 6 Women Empowerment Center. Bonit Cameroon is one of the implementing partners and works in collaboration with Neoseta to identify and establish the basic identification documents for these target beneficiaries.
It's really been a success. We started with Douala, produced over 200 birth certificates. In the extreme north, where we've produced over 300 birth certificates, and today we're distributing 100 birth certificates. I think we can say it's been a success.
We understand that there were men and women who didn't have birth certificates, but within the framework of this project, we had to identify women. The maximum age range was 30, so we had to identify these women, and then there are women who have potentials of getting like vocational training or going back to school, because like we said, it's a second chance educational project. So those were the main criteria that we used to identify the beneficiaries, and then you must be an internally displaced person.
The first identification document in Cameroon is the birth certificate, but many vulnerable persons still cannot afford to obtain it due to the complex procedure, financial cost, and even the duration it takes.
In the northwest and southwest, most of these councils are out of the towns or villages of origin, and they are being relocated to Bamenda. So I think it was challenging, but we are grateful that we were able to come out with this number of birth certificates.
These are also among the many challenges faced by the implementing partners in this project, coupled with the persistent crisis in the English-speaking parts of the country.
We had many more women who had lost their identification documents but were not within the age range that the project actually has. So one of the things that we really saw in the field is that the women who were older actually have children whom they have to take care of, and they need these identification documents to be able to integrate in the society, find jobs, and take care of their children. So that's one of the challenges we had. Then we had some issues too, where we had men who also were people within this age range, but the project did not cover men, so it was not easy for us to get men on board. So that's why that with the project we came out basically just for women.
The workshop was also to foster advocacy on access to official documentation as part of the measures towards providing a comprehensive solution for marginalized women and girls who have missed out on their primary chance of education and are at risk of being left behind.
As a Cameroonian without an ID card, some of them reach the age of 25 without even a birth certificate. So it's really something that the state needs to look into it, so that we get concrete solution for these categories of persons who cannot really integrate in the community because they don't have something that can identify them, and most of the time they are given stigmatized in where they find themselves.
Therefore, for a woman, a lady, to register at the Women Empowerment Center and benefit from trainings provided by this project, they will need their birth certificate, which is an identification document. For them to register to a school, they would also need to provide their birth certificate. To start a business, to learn a trade, you will need to provide some sort of identification document, and the basic identification documents are these birth certificates, which they will now use to produce identity cards and also use to register for examinations and to schools.
So we therefore call on maybe the state to be able to open doors for this initiative to go further in the different regions of our country. Today, like we know, started since last year.
There are still more vulnerable persons out there who are longing to benefit from these humanitarian gestures sponsored by the UN Women and the UN High Commission for Refugees.
In terms of this particular initiative, we know it's a UN Women project, but it has immense partners like Bonnet, New Center, and Women Empowerment Centers. So they work in collaboration. If you have a child in the house who needs a birth certificate, you can get in contact to them, to either Bonnet or New Center, and they can register that child and they lead the process in the background with the other partners that they've recruited, the different councils in the different areas. So they work in collaboration to establish this certificate that you can already see today. We doing the official handling. So you just need to get in contact with those people and the structures, organizations, and you are sure that they can facilitate that process.
Beneficiaries and their parents were satisfied with the kind of relief this assistance brought.
It's a problem.
The Cameroon government plus other stakeholders involved in the process of obtaining these identification documents are expected to make things easier for every citizen of the country and the refugees residing in Cameroon.